The bass thumped like a heartbeat gone wild, vibrating through the crowded Brooklyn loft, but all I could hear was Aria's voice cracking over the chaos. "Jordan, I've been lying to you. To myself. For years," she slurred, her green eyes locking onto mine with a desperation that sliced right through the haze of cheap vodka and strobe lights. In that split second, as her hand gripped my arm like it was the only anchor in her storm, I realized the friend I'd known since freshman year wasn't just drunk. She was unraveling and taking my carefully guarded heart with her. I'd always told myself it was just friendship, the kind forged in late-night cram sessions and stolen slices of pizza under the glow of Manhattan's skyline. We were inseparable. Aria with her infectious laugh that could light up the dreariest subway ride, and me, Jordan Hayes, the steady one who planned our adventures down to the last detail. At 24, we were both chasing dreams in this unforgiving city, her as a graphic designer sketching wild concepts in coffee-stained notebooks, me grinding away at a marketing firm where every pitch felt like a battle. But tonight, on the rooftop of our mutual friend Sam's 30th birthday bash, the air thick with summer humidity and the scent of grilled street food wafting up from below, everything shifted. It started innocently enough. Sam had rented out this converted warehouse space in Williamsburg, the kind of place with exposed brick walls and fairy lights strung like stars across the ceiling. The crowd was a mix of our old college crew, tech bros nursing IPAs, artists in thrift store chic, and a few Wall Street types slumming it for the night. Aria and I arrived fashionably late, arms linked, her in that emerald dress that made her look like she stepped out of a fairy tale, me in my go-to black blouse and jeans because, let's face it, I wasn't trying to impress anyone. Or so I thought. We dove into the fray, shots of tequila burning down our throats like liquid courage. Aria was on fire, as always, dancing with wild abandon, her red curls bouncing as she pulled strangers into conga lines, her laughter cutting through the EDM remix like a lifeline. I watched from the sidelines, nursing my gin and tonic, content in the role of observer. That's how it had always been. Her the spark, me the steady flame. But as the night wore on and the drinks flowed freer, I caught glimpses of something else in her eyes, a flicker of unrest, like a shadow passing over the sun. By midnight, the party had hit that fever pitch where inhibitions dissolve. Sam was belting out karaoke on a makeshift stage, butchering a Britney Spears tune, and half the guests were grinding on the makeshift dance floor. Aria tugged me toward the edge of the roof, where the city sprawled out like a glittering promise, or a taunting reminder of how small we all were. The Hudson River shimmered in the distance, dotted with the lights of ferries cutting through the dark water. "Come on, Geordie," she said, her voice already laced with that telltale slur. "Let's escape this madness for a sec." We leaned against the rusted railing, the cool metal a stark contrast to the heat radiating from our bodies. She pulled a flask from her purse, God knows where she'd hidden it, and took a long pull, wincing as the whiskey hit. "To us," she toasted, passing it over. Her fingers brushed mine, lingering just a beat too long, sending a jolt up my arm that I dismissed as the alcohol buzzing in my veins. "To us," I echoed, the burn chasing away the chill. We talked about nothing and everything, her latest freelance gig that had her pulling all-nighters, my boss's passive-aggressive emails that made me want to scream. But then her gaze drifted, unfocused, to the skyline. "You ever feel like you're living someone else's life?" she murmured, her words tumbling out sloppy but sincere. I chuckled, trying to lighten the mood. "Every day in this city. What's got you philosophical tonight?" She turned to me then, her face inches from mine, the scent of her vanilla perfume mixing with the sharp tang of liquor. That's when it happened, the confession that cracked me open. "Jordan, I love you." The words hung there, raw and unfiltered, her eyes searching mine for something I didn't know I was hiding. Not like a friend. Like God, like I can't breathe without you. And I've been too scared to say it because what if it ruins everything? My heart slammed against my ribs, the party noise fading to a dull roar. Time stretched, elastic, and unreal. Arya. My Arya. The girl who'd crashed on my couch after bad dates with guys who never deserved her, the one who'd held my hand through my mom's cancer scare last year, was looking at me like I was her salvation. And in that moment, I saw it all. The way her hugs lingered, the inside jokes that felt like secrets, the quiet nights when we'd fall asleep tangled on my bed watching rom-coms, pretending it was platonic. But fear gripped me tighter than her hand on my arm. Arya, you're drunk, I whispered, my voice barely audible over the wind whipping off the river. We should get you some water. She pulled back, hurt flashing across her features like lightning. Don't do that. Don't brush me off. I've felt this for months, years, maybe. Remember that road trip to the Finger Lakes? When we stopped at that vineyard, and you kissed my cheek goodnight. I replayed it 1,000 times, wishing it was more. The memory hit me like a wave, the golden hour light filtering through the vines, her laughter as we sampled two sweet wines, the brush of her lips against my skin that had left me restless for days. I'd chalked it up to the wine, to the magic of escape. But now, under the harsh fluorescence of reality, it stared me in the face. I don't know what to say. I stammered, my mind racing. What about the guys I dated? The straight-laced life I'd built to please everyone. My conservative family back in Ohio, the colleagues who joked about my boy crazy phase in college. Her shoulders slumped, the fight draining out of her as quickly as it had ignited. Say you'll think about it. Say I'm not crazy. Tears welled to her eyes, smudging the kohl she'd so carefully applied earlier. Before I could respond, she stumbled back toward the party, leaving me alone with the city lights mocking my indecision. I stood there for what felt like hours, the flask forgotten in my hand, replaying her words like a broken record. By the time I rejoined the crowd, Arya was surrounded by our friends, her smile forced, her movements a touch too erratic. Sam clapped me on the back, oblivious. Your girl's on one tonight. Keep an eye on her. If only he knew. I nodded, weaving through bodies until I reached her. She was mid-story, gesturing wildly about a disastrous client meeting, but her eyes darted to me, pleading for rescue or rejection. I slid onto the couch beside her, our thighs pressing together in that familiar way. Hey, I said softly under my breath. Let's get out of here. She searched my face, hope flickering. Yeah. The cab ride home was torture, silent, charged, the city blurring past in streaks of neon. We lived just a few blocks apart in a cramped walk-up in Bushwick, our apartments a stone's throw from each other, a proximity that had always felt like fate. When we pulled up to her building, she hesitated, hand on the door. Jordan, I'm sorry if I... Don't. I cut her off, surprising myself. Not tonight. Just sleep it off. We'll talk tomorrow. She nodded, slipping out into the night, her dress fluttering like a flag of surrender. I watched her disappear inside, the door clicking shut like a period at the end of a sentence I wasn't ready to finish. Back in my own apartment, the walls felt too close, the air too still. I collapsed onto my bed, staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazily above. Arya's words echoed, stirring something deep, a longing I'd buried under layers of denial. I'd always known she was special, but love? Real, terrifying love. That was a line I'd never crossed, not with her, not with anyone. My last relationship with Mark had ended in a whimper 6 months ago, safe, predictable, utterly devoid of spark. With Arya, it was fireworks, constant and consuming. Sleep evaded me, chased away by what-ifs. What if she meant it sober? What if she didn't? By dawn, my phone buzzed with her name, a simple text. Coffee? Please. My thumb hovered over the screen, heart pounding. This was it, the pivot point. I typed back. My place. 10 a.m. The morning sun filtered through my sheer curtains, casting golden patterns on the hardwood floor as I buzzed her up. She arrived disheveled, curls tamed into a messy bun, wearing oversized sweats that swallowed her frame. No makeup, no pretense. Just Arya, raw and real. I feel like death, she groaned, flopping onto my couch with a dramatic sigh. I handed her a mug of black coffee, strong as my resolve was crumbling. Rough night. She sipped, wincing, then met my eyes. About what I said. I wasn't that drunk. Not about that part. The room shrank, the space between us electric. I sat across from her, knees touching hers. Arya, we've been friends forever. This could ruin us, she finished, setting the mug down with a clink. Or make us better. Jordan, I've dated guys, nice ones even, but it always felt off. Like I was acting in a play I didn't write. With you, it's different. It's home. Her vulnerability cracked me. Tears pricked my eyes unbidden. I feel it too. God, I do. But I'm scared. My family's so traditional. Dad still asks when I'm settling down with a good man. And work. What if people talk? She reached for my hand, her touch warm, steady. Then we face it together. Or we don't. But hiding it? That's killing me. We talked for hours, words pouring out like rain after a drought. She confessed the crushes she'd nursed since our first dorm room sleepover, the jealousy that twisted her gut when I dated. I admitted the same. The way her touch lingered in my dreams, the ache of wanting more. By noon, the coffee was cold, but the air between us hummed with possibility. That afternoon, we ventured out, a tentative step into the light. We wandered the streets of Bushwick, graffiti-splashed walls and artisanal coffee shops our backdrop. At a quiet park bench overlooking a community garden, she laced her fingers through mine, public and unapologetic. A jogger glanced our way, but no stares, no judgment, just the city moving on, indifferent and alive. Days blurred into weeks, our friendship evolving into something deeper, sweeter. Stolen kisses in alleyways, lazy Sundays tangled in sheets, her head on my chest as we binge-watched old movies. But bliss was fleeting, reality lurked. My sister visited from Ohio, her eyes narrowing at our closeness. Everything okay with you too? She asked over dinner, fork poised midair. Fine, I lied, forcing a smile. Arya squeezed my knee under the table, a silent anchor. Then came the real storm. Arya's ex, Tyler, a charming graphic novelist who'd never quite let go. He showed up at her gallery opening uninvited, all brooding intensity and lingering touches. I watched from across the room, jealousy coiling like smoke. When he cornered her, whispering something that made her laugh, that old, easy laugh, I saw red. I pulled her aside in the coat room, voice low and fierce. What the hell was that? She blinked, surprised. Just talking. He's harmless. Harmless? He still looks at you like you're his. The words escaped before I could cage them, raw with insecurity. Her face softened, hand cupping my cheek. Jordan, I'm yours. All in. But if this is too much. No. I breathed, pulling her close. It's not. I trust you. I just hate sharing. We emerged stronger, but the cracks widened. Work stress mounted. A big promotion dangled, but my focus splintered. Late nights at the office bled into missed dinners, her texts unanswered. One evening, I came home to find her packing a duffel. Space, she said quietly. I need to breathe. The word gutted me. Is this over? Not if we fight for it. She kissed my forehead, a benediction and a goodbye, then left for her sisters in Queens. Alone, the apartment echoed with ghosts, her scarf on the hook, our playlist on repeat. I dove into work, burying pain under deadlines. Weeks passed in a fog until Sam's text, party at the loft. Area's coming. Don't be a ghost. I almost skipped it, the same rooftop, same lights, a cruel echo. But something pulled me there, a thread of hope. The night unfolded like déjà vu, bass thumping, laughter rising. Then I saw her, radiant in a sapphire dress, chatting with Sam. Our eyes met across the crowd, and time folded. she approached, tentative. Hey, stranger. Hey. My voice cracked. Missed you. We talked, really talked, about the fear, the growth. I love you, she said again, sober this time under the stars. No more hiding. I pulled her into the dance, bodies swaying, the city our witness. As the song faded, I whispered back, I love you too, forever. In the months that followed, we built something unbreakable. I turned down the promotion for a job that let me breathe. She landed a dream client. My family came around slowly. A video call where Dad awkwardly said, as long as you're happy, kiddo. We moved in together. Our walls adorned with her sketches, our bed a sanctuary. Looking back, that drunken night wasn't a mistake. It was the spark. Aria didn't just change how I saw her. She showed me who I could be. Brave, open, loved. In the heart of this chaotic city, we found our quiet revolution, one whispered truth at a time. The first anniversary of that life-altering party crept up like a secret, wrapped in the crisp autumn air of October in New York. Leaves crunched under our boots as we strolled through Prospect Park. Aria's arm looped through mine, her breath fogging in the chill. She'd planned the surprise, a picnic under the ancient oaks, complete with her infamous no-bake brownies and a bottle of that Finger Lakes wine we'd loved. To new beginnings, she toasted, clinking her plastic cup against mine, her green eyes dancing with that familiar mischief. To us, I replied, the words carrying the weight of a vow. A year ago, I'd been adrift, clinging to the safety of labels and expectations. Now, at 25, I felt anchored, alive in a way that defied the grind of daily life. Our relationship wasn't without its tempests, arguments over forgotten chores, the sting of sideways glances from strangers, but each storm only deepened our roots. Work had settled into a rhythm. I'd switched to a boutique agency in Soho, where creativity trumped corporate ladders, and the team embraced my +1 at holiday mixers without batting an eye. Aria's career soared. Her designs graced billboards in Times Square, bold strokes of color that mirrored the vibrancy she brought to everything. Yet, beneath the surface glamour, doubts lingered like shadows at dusk. It started with a phone call from my mother, her voice tinny over the line from Cleveland. Jordan, honey, your aunt's wedding is next month. You bringing anyone? The pause that followed was loaded, a minefield of unspoken questions. I glanced at Aria, curled on the couch sketching, oblivious. Yeah, Mom. Aria. Silence stretched, then a hesitant. Oh, well, that's nice. We'll set an extra place. The call ended, but the unease festered. My family had warmed to the idea of us in theory, holiday cards signed love, Mom, Dad, and the clan, but theory crumbled under the scrutiny of a white tablecloth affair in the Midwest. Aria sensed it, of course. That night, as we lay in bed, her fingers tracing lazy circles on my stomach, she murmured, You okay? Just family stuff. I sighed, pulling her closer. They mean well, but it's like walking a tightrope. She propped up on an elbow, curls tumbling like a waterfall. Then let's practice. Role-play the awkward questions. I'll be Cousin Karen. So, how'd you two meet? Was it love at first sight, or did one of you have to convert? I laughed despite myself, the tension easing. You're ridiculous. But you're ridiculous. She leaned in, her kiss soft, then deepening, a promise that we were in this together. Making love that night was slow, deliberate, our bodies speaking what words couldn't, affirmation, desire, unbreakable bond. The wedding loomed, a deadline that sharpened every interaction. Aria threw herself into preparations, designing custom invitations for friends' events to distract from the nerves gnawing at her. I buried myself in client pitches, but the what-ifs whispered louder. What if Dad's poker buddies corner us? What if the toasts turn toxic? 2 weeks out, Tyler resurfaced. Not in person, thank God, but through a mutual friend who forwarded an email. Heard about the wedding. Congrats to you both. If you ever need a date to fend off the relatives, I'm game. No strings. Arya showed it to me over breakfast, her fork hovering mid-bite. Delete it, I said, sharper than intended. Jealousy flared, irrational but insistent. Tyler represented the before, the straight path she'd walked before choosing this, choosing me. She did, but the seed was planted. That evening, over Thai takeout on our fire escape, she broached it gently. Jordan, talk to me. You've been distant. I poked at my pad CEW, appetite gone. It's not you. It's everything. This wedding feels like a test. And Tyler's email? It just reminds me how fragile this is. Her hand covered mine, warm and sure. Fragile? Baby, we're steel. He's the past, a chapter closed. This, she gestured between us, is the whole damn book. We made up fiercely that night, bodies colliding in a tangle of need and reassurance. But the undercurrent persisted, a subtle rift widening with each passing day. The drive to Ohio was a marathon of podcasts and pit stops, the skyline shrinking in the rearview as cornfields stretched endless. Arya drove first, her playlist a mix of indie folk and upbeat pop to keep the mood light. We sang off-key to Hosier, her hand on my thigh a constant touchstone. By the time we crossed the state line, exhaustion mingled with anxiety, but her presence steadied me. My parents' house hadn't changed. The same wraparound porch, the flagpole creaking in the breeze, the scent of Mom's apple pie wafting from the kitchen. They greeted us with hugs, stiff at first, then softening. Dad clapped Arya on the back a bit too hard. Good to see you, kid. Brought any of those fancy city desserts? She grinned, holding up a box of her macarons. Only the best for you, Mr. Hayes. Dinner was a minefield navigated with grace. Aunt Linda dominated conversation, gushing about floral arrangements, while Cousin Mark shot sidelong glances our way. So, Jordan, he said, passing the mashed potatoes. Still in that big apple? Must be tough without a man to keep you grounded. The table hushed. Arya's fork paused. I felt her tension like a live wire. Actually, I said evenly, I've got the best partner right here. Arya keeps me more than grounded. She lifts me up. Polite chuckles rippled, but the air thickened. Mom steered to safer waters, whether grandkids, but the damage lingered. Later, in the guest room we'd share, Arya flopped onto the bed, exhaling dramatically. Well, that was fun. Next time, we crash a vegan potluck in Portland. I crawled beside her, burying my face in her neck. I'm sorry. This sucks. Hey. She tilted my chin up, eyes fierce. We survived. And tomorrow? We dance like no one's watching. The ceremony was picture perfect, a sun-drenched garden, white tents billowing, Aunt Linda radiant in lace. We sat in the family pew, hands clasped under the program, whispering commentary on the vows. Too much obey for my taste, Arya quipped. As the couple exchanged rings, something shifted in me. Their promises echoed our own unspoken ones, a mirror to the life we were carving. Reception buzzed with champagne toasts and a DJ spinning Motown classics. Arya pulled me onto the floor for the first dance, our bodies swaying to Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Eyes turned, some curious, some kind, a few narrowed, but we moved through it, lost in each other. Dad even cut in, his grip awkward but genuine. You look happy, Geordie, he mumbled, two-stepping stiffly. That's all I ever wanted. Tears stung as I hugged him after. Thanks, Dad. The night peaked with cake and chaos, kids darting under tables, uncles loosening ties. Tyler's ghost stayed away, but a new specter arose. My ex, Mark, who'd married into the family last year. He cornered me by the bar, beer in hand, smile too wide. Jordan, long time. Heard you're exploring. Good for you. The condescension dripped, igniting my fuse. Exploring? Nah, Mark. I'm home. Arya appeared at my side, arm slipping around my waist possessively. Everything okay here? He backed off with a nod, mumbling excuses. We retreated to the patio, the cool air a balm. My hero, I teased, kissing her temple. Always. But her smile faltered, just for a second.
Jordan.
That email from Tyler? It got me thinking. What if we're moving too fast? What if this city's chaos is just a bubble, and out here, in the real world? Stop. I framed her face, urgent. The world's real everywhere. And our love, that's the truest thing I've got. She melted into me, the kiss sealing it. We left early, driving back under a canopy of stars, the tension dissolving into quiet plans, maybe a trip to the coast, or adopting that stray cat she'd-eyed. Back in Brooklyn, life resumed, but richer. Mom sent a care package, pie mix and a note. Proud of you both. We framed it on the fridge, a talisman. Challenges came. A homophobic client I fired on principle. Areas burn out from back-to-back deadlines, but we faced them head-on. Therapy sessions and date nights our arsenal. One evening, as snow dusted the windows, she sketched while I cooked pasta. "Jordan," she called softly. "Marry me?" The spoon clattered. I turned, heart soaring.
Yes.
1,000 times. Our engagement was simple, a ring from a queer jeweler in the village, engraved with one whisper. The wedding? We'd plan it our way, rooftop vows, under those same string lights, inviting the city to witness. That drunken party had been the catalyst, her words the key. In loving Aria, I'd found not just romance, but redemption, a life unapologetic, profoundly human. Winter wrapped New York in a hush of snow and solitude, turning our Bushwick Street into a postcard of muffled magic. Engaged now, with a modest sapphire on Aria's finger catching the lamplight like a captured star, we navigated the holidays with a mix of trepidation and triumph. My family's Christmas invitation arrived via email, tentative but inclusive. All are welcome. Love, Mom. Aria's folks, progressive artists from Portland, planned a visit, her way of bridging worlds. But joy's shadow is doubt, and it crept in during a rare, quiet moment. We were decorating our tiny tree, tinsel tangled in her curls as she perched on a stool, me handing up ornaments one by one. "What if they don't show?" she asked suddenly, voice small. "Your family. What if the distance is too much?" I paused, glass icicle in hand. "Then we go without them. This is our day." She nodded, but the worry lingered, a frost that chilled more than the draft from the window. We'd set the date for late spring. May 15th, a Friday, rooftop at the loft where it all began. Invites went out digitally first, minimalist designs Aria crafted with swirling vines and our intertwined initials. Responses trickled in. Sam's "hell yes," with heart emojis, her sisters "can't wait to officiate." But from Ohio, radio silence. Work offered no respite. My agency landed a campaign for a queer-owned coffee brand, thrilling but exhausting, late shoots in 0-degree weather, creative blocks that left me staring at blank screens. Aria fared worse. A major client bailed, citing budget cuts, plunging her into a spiral of rejection emails and empty inboxes. Nights, she'd pace our living room, sketchpad abandoned, while I brewed chamomile and rubbed her shoulders. "You're brilliant," I'd murmur, pulling her onto the couch. "This isn't the end." But her eyes, usually so vivid, dulled. What if it is? What if I'm not cut out for the city, for us? The question hung, a fracture. We argued, rare, but vicious, over trivialities like whose turn it was to grocery shop, masking the deeper fear that external pressures might erode our foundation. One stormy February night, thunder rumbling like distant artillery, she snapped. "You don't get it, Jordan. You're steady, always landing on your feet. I'm the mess, the one who spills her heart at parties." I recoiled, stung. "And I'm the villain for wanting to protect what we have? For planning so we don't fall apart?" She stormed to the bedroom, door clicking shut. I sank to the floor, back against the wall, tears hot on my cheeks. Hours passed, sleep evaded me on the couch, the cities hum a mocking lullaby. Dawn broke gray, and she emerged, eyes puffy, extending a peace offering, 2 mugs of coffee and her sketchpad open to a new drawing, us as warriors, shields linked against a tempest. "Forgive me," she whispered. "Always." We clung, apologies unspoken, bodies reaffirming vows in the pale light. Healing came through action. We signed up for a couples art class in Chelsea, clay-smeared Wednesdays where we molded misshapen bowls and laughed at our failures. "See," Arya said, wiping a smudge from my nose. "We're creating, even when it's ugly." Her breakthrough arrived in March, a collaboration with a nonprofit for LGBTQ+ youth, designing murals that told stories like ours. Watching her pitch, passion reignited, I swelled with pride. My own win followed, leading the coffee campaign to viral success, a feature and adage that had my boss beaming. Spring bloomed tentative, cherry blossoms tentative along the avenues. My parents RSVP'd at last. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Relief washed over me, but Arya's anxiety peaked. What if I trip during vows? Or say the wrong thing? Then it's perfect, I assured, practicing in our mirror. Her sister, Elena, arrived early for fittings, a whirlwind of laughter and wine. "You two are disgustingly cute," she teased, adjusting Arya's veil prototype, a delicate lace number Arya had sewn herself. The week before, Tyler emailed again, not to Arya, but me, via a shared contact. "Heard about the wedding. Happy for you. Just wanted to say, she deserves the world." Cryptic, almost kind, but it unearthed old insecurities. I deleted it unread fully, but the poison seeped. Confrontation came at our rehearsal dinner, a low-key affair at a trattoria in the village. Sam emceed with toasts that had us in stitches, Elena reading a poem she'd written about, 2 flames finding their fire. Then Mark, my cousin, ever the opportunist, pulled me aside in the alley, cigarette smoke curling like accusations. "Sure about this, Geordie?" "Areas. Intense. You were always the level-headed one." Rage boiled. "Level-headed enough to know love when I see it. Back off, Mark." I returned flushed, Arya's brow furrowing. "What was that?" "Nothing." But lies fester. That night, in our hotel near the venue, I confessed over room service tiramisu. "Tyler's been lurking." "And Mark?" He questioned us. Her face crumpled. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I didn't want to drag us back." Tears welled. "Am I enough, Arya? For all this?" She crossed the room in 2 strides, pulling me to my feet. "You're everything. Screw them. We're here now." We made love with a ferocity born of defiance, reclaiming each other. Morning brought clarity. The ceremony awaited. Our tribe assembled. The day dawned brilliant, sun gilding the skyline. The loft thrummed with preparations, florists arranging wildflowers, a string quartet tuning soft. I dressed in a tailored ivory suit, nerves jangling like keys. Sam adjusted my tie, grinning. "You clean up nice, Hayes. Ready to make history?" In the bridal suite, repurposed storage, Arya waited, ethereal in white lace and silk, green eyes shining. "Hi," she breathed, as if seeing me anew. "Hi." We kissed, soft and sure, Elena snapping a candid before herding us out. The rooftop ceremony unfolded like a dream. Guests in a semicircle, the city a vast audience below. Elena's words wove us together. "In a world that rushes, you two pause, cherish, choose." Vows exchanged, rings slipping on with trembling fingers. Mine. "Arya, you saw me before I saw myself. I promise to hold your hand through every storm." Hers. "Jordan, your steadiness is my north. I'll love you fiercely, always." The kiss sealed it, cheers erupting, confetti raining like blessings. Reception blurred in joy, dances with parents, Dad twirling Arya awkwardly, Mom wiping tears as we slow danced to Etta James. Toasts flowed, Sam's roast on that fateful party, a colleague's ode to our power couple vibe. But mid-celebration, as fireworks burst over the East River, Mark approached again, slurring slightly. Beautiful ceremony. Really? His eyes flicked to Arya, appraising. Just be careful. Passions like yours burn hot, but... Arya stepped forward, voice steel. But what, Mark? Burnout? We've outlasted your doubts, and then some. Enjoy the cake. She turned, linking arms with me, leaving him sputtering. Laughter bubbled up as we walked away. My fierce protector, I whispered. Your warrior. The night waned, guests departing in a haze of hugs and Ubers. Alone at last, under the lingering lights, we swayed to silence. Mrs. Hayes Lopez, I teased, trying on the name.
She grinned.
Or Lopez Hayes. Whatever. As long as it's us. Honeymoon called. 2 weeks in Provincetown, salty air and sunset sails. Back home, life deepened. A joint studio space, talks of fostering, roots extending. Challenges persisted. A cross-country move for Arya's dream job offer, navigating in-law dynamics, but love proved elastic, enduring. That party whisper had echoed into eternity, her words not just a change, but a revolution. In each other, we'd found grace, humanity's quiet triumph. Summer unfurled in New York like a fever dream, humidity clinging to skin as relentlessly as the city's pulse. Our first months as wives were a honeymoon extended, lazy brunches on fire escapes, weekend escapes to the Hamptons borrowed from Elena's connections. Arya's mural project for the youth center bloomed across a Harlem wall, vibrant portraits of queer icons that drew crowds and camera flashes. I chronicled it for the agency blog, our lives intertwining professionally too, a seamless weave. Yet, beneath the idol, a restlessness stirred in Arya. It surfaced one sweltering July evening as we picnicked in Central Park, fireflies winking like conspirators. She poked at her quinoa salad, gazed distant on the great lawn. Jordan, what if we had kids? Not now, but someday. The question landed soft, but my fork stilled. Motherhood had always been a hazy maybe, overshadowed by career climbs and now, our hard-won partnership. You want that? I asked, keeping my tone light. She shrugged, curls damp with sweat. Maybe. Seeing those kids at the center, lost, searching, it hits home. We could give that stability. I nodded, but inside, a whirlwind brewed. Stability? We'd barely stabilized ourselves. My biological clock, if it ticked, did so faintly, drowned out by memories of mom's exhaustion raising 4, dad's long hours leaving emotional voids. It's a big if, I said carefully. Let's table it for now. Hurt flickered, but she masked it with a smile.
Sure.
Just dreaming. The seed took root, though, sprouting in subtle ways. Baby clothes window shopped on Bleecker Street, articles on adoption bookmarked on her phone. I buried unease in work, pitching a family-focused campaign that ironically mirrored our talks. Success came, a national rollout, but victory tasted bittersweet. Alone in a hotel conference room in Chicago, Arya's texts buzzing with updates on a foster info session she'd attended solo. Re-entry Jared. Home felt charged, her enthusiasm palpable over dinner. Pad thai from our corner spot, steam rising like unspoken tensions. They do orientations for couples like us, she said, eyes alight. It's not impossible. I twirled noodles, appetite waning. I know. It's just
fast.
We just got married. Her fork clattered. Fast? Jordan, we're 30 next year. Time's not waiting. The word stung, implying I was the brake on our future. And rushing into parenthood, because the calendar says so, that's not us. She pushed back her chair, voice rising. It's not rushing, it's hoping. You think I don't see how you flinch at the idea? Like it's a burden. Because it scares me. I shot back, volume matching. What if I'm not enough? What if we mess it up like your parents? The accusation hung, cruel and true. Silence crashed, broken only by the distant wail of a siren. She softened first, reaching across. I'm sorry. That was low. Tears pricked. Me too. I want everything with you.
Just.
Need time. We retreated to bed, bodies curling together in truce, but sleep came fitful. Dawn brought coffee and compromise, a joint counseling session, neutral ground to unpack fears. Dr. Rivera, a warm Latina with a no-nonsense vibe, met us in her sunlit office overlooking the Hudson. Parenting's a mirror, she said after our spills, my childhood voids, Aria's bohemian upbringing that left her craving structure. It reflects what you heal or repeat. Sessions became ritual, twice monthly, peeling layers. Aria admitted her drive stemmed from a teen runaway she'd mentored at the center, a girl whose story echoed her own hidden pains, coming out young, family fractures. I confessed the terror of failing, of love not stretching far enough for three. Progress crept, marked by small steps, volunteering at the center together, reading bell hooks on queer families. One crisp September afternoon, as leaves turned the park to fire, we sat on our bench, her head on my shoulder. No pressure, she murmured. Just us for now. Relief flooded. I love you. Fall deepened, bringing unexpected guests. Aria's parents for a long weekend, their van packed with artisanal cheeses and stories from Oregon trails. Over brunch at our favorite bistro, croissants flaking onto checkered cloths, her dad, a silver-haired sculptor, broached the future. Heard whispers of little ones. You too would make fierce parents. Aria beamed. I managed to smile, heart twisting. We're exploring. Mom, a painter with ink-stained fingers, squeezed my hand. Explore slow. Art and love unfolds in its time. Their visit bridged, reminding us family could expand without fracturing. But life's script twisted next. A call from HR, my agency's merger with a conservative conglomerate. Diversity initiatives intact, they assured, but rumors swirled, layoffs, policy shifts. The axe fell mid-October, my position redundant. Shock numbed, then fury as I packed my desk, colleagues' awkward hugs like condolences. Home, I collapsed on the couch, sobs racking. Aria found me, dropping to her knees. Oh, baby. It's everything, I choked. Our plans, the stability. I thought I was building us a nest. She held me fierce. You are the nest. We'll rebuild. Unemployment stretched, days blurring in job hunts and rejection pings. Aria's support anchored, resumes polished over wine, pep talks in the shower, but resentment simmered, irrational blame at her easy success. One night, after a fruitless interview, I lashed. You don't get it. Your world's color and whimsy, mine's spreadsheets and suits. She recoiled. And you think that's easy? Try pouring your soul into work that gets scrapped. The fight escalated, words weapons, my practicality, her cage, her dreaming my chain. Doors slammed. I slept on the couch again, the city lights mocking through blinds. Morning brought regret. Her note on the fridge. Coffee's on. Let's talk. Over mugs, raw honesty flowed. I'm scared too, she admitted. Losing you to this, it's worse than any layoff. Forgiveness mended, stronger. She connected me to a freelance gig designing for the youth center, blending my skills with her passion. It clicked, a pivot to consulting, flexible hours that let me breathe. Thanksgiving loomed, a test of thanks. We hosted Sam, Elena, a smattering of friends, turkey brined, pies from a bakery. Toast circled. To resilience to us. My parents joined via Zoom, faces pixelated but present. Proud of you, girls, Dad said, voice gruff. Post-holiday, a surprise, an offer from a progressive firm in Brooklyn, perfect fit. I accepted, tears of joy with Aria in the park, spinning like fools. Winter whispered of renewal. At our session, Dr. Rivera smiled. "You're ready for the next chapter?" We exchanged glances. Maybe. That night, over mulled wine, Arya pulled a pamphlet from her bag. Adoption seminar. No rush.
Just.
Together? Heart full, I nodded.
Together.
Our journey wasn't linear, but in stumbles and stands, we grew, human, flawed, profoundly connected. Her drunken words had unlocked not just love, but life's vast, tender possibilities. The seminar was held in a sun-dappled community center in Crown Heights, the kind of place with mismatched chairs and walls papered in kids' artwork. Arya and I arrived hand in hand, nerves jangling like loose change, the pamphlet clutched like a talisman. A dozen couples dotted the room. Some straight, some queer, all faces etched with that universal mix of hope and haunt. The facilitator, a soft-spoken woman named Carla with a rainbow pin on her lapel, opened with stories, not statistics, but souls. A single dad's glee at his son's first steps, two moms navigating school biases with fierce advocacy. Arya's hand tightened in mine as we listened, her green eyes wide, absorbing. During the Q&A, I raised mine tentatively. How do you prepare for the unknowns? The judgments. Carla leaned forward. You don't prepare, you parent through them. Loves the curriculum. We left Boyd, stopping for gelato on Nostrand Avenue. Pistachio for her, stracciatella for me. That felt real, she said, spoon midway. Not some fairy tale.
Yeah.
I licked a drip, warmth spreading. Scary real. Home, we dove into research, books stacked on the nightstand, from The Connected Child to memoirs of transracial adoption. Nights blurred into discussions. Open versus closed, foster to adopt paths, the logistics of home studies. Arya sketched vision boards, crayon scribbles of family portraits, while I spreadsheet finances, our strengths converging. But excitement's flip side is vulnerability. A home visit loomed, the agency's social worker scheduled for a Friday afternoon. We prepped obsessively. Fridge stocked with organic produce, bookshelves curated for diversity, our wedding photo prominent on the mantel. Act natural. Arya coached, fluffing pillows for the 10th time. The knock came prompt. Ms. Patel entered with a warm smile, notepad in hand. Tour given, tea poured, questions flowed. Our marriage, careers, support networks. Why kids? She asked, pen poised. Arya spoke first, voice steady. We've built this life, strong, loving. We want to share it, give back what we wished for. I added, to teach resilience like we've learned. She nodded, scribbling. And conflicts? How do you resolve? We glanced, a silent cue. We fight fair, I said. Talk it out, even when it's hard. Approval gleamed. Good. Paperwork next. Elation followed. Backgrounds cleared. Profiles approved. But the wait for a match stretched, weeks to months, a limbo that tested patience. Arya channeled into work, her murals expanding to a citywide initiative. I thrived in consulting, landing a contract with a nonprofit on family equity. Spring teased early that year, tulips defiant in window boxes. A call shattered routine. We have a potential 3-year-old girl, background complex. Interested. Heart hammering, we met the caseworker at a neutral cafe, photos spread like cards. Lily, dark curls, solemn brown eyes, stared from glossies, her story a litany of loss. Bio mom in recovery, foster hops. Temporary, the worker stressed. But she needs stability now. Arya traced the image, tears silent. She's beautiful. That night, debate raged, not rejection, but readiness. What if it's too soon? I voiced, pacing. We're still settling. And what if it's exactly right? Arya countered, fierce. She needs us now. Dawn decided it. Yes. Placement day arrived in a flurry. A gray Tuesday, social worker's sedan pulling up with a car seat and a duffel of tiny clothes. Lily emerged shy, clutching a stuffed rabbit, eyes darting like a fawn's. "Hi, sweet girl." Arya knelt, voice honey. "I'm Arya. This is Jordan. Want to see your room?" Inside, magic unfolded. Walls painted soft blue, bookshelves groaning, a mobile of stars twirling lazy. Lily's gaze widened, rabbit hugged tighter. We played tentative, blocks stacking wobbly towers, songs sung off-key. Dinner was pasta butterflies, her giggles first sparks. Bedtime ritual. Baths bubbly, stories of brave rabbits adventuring. As she drifted, thumb in mouth, Arya whispered, "We're doing this." Exhaustion hit post-tuck-in, but joy laced it. Weeks blurred. Preschool enrollment, pediatric checkups, nights of colic cries piercing dark. Lily's trauma surfaced. Night terrors clutching at shadows, selective mutism melting slow. We tag-teamed, Arya's creativity in play therapy, my structure in routines. Challenges crested one stormy June night. Lily woke screaming, thrashing from a nightmare. Arya soothed first, rocking, but she flailed, words tumbling. "Bad mommy. Go away." Heartbreak, but we breathed through, Dr. Rivera's tools in play, grounding breaths, emotion wheels. Morning brought apologies in crayon. "Sorry, love you." We framed it, a testament. Summer solstice marked 3 months, a backyard barbecue with our circle, Lily chasing bubbles, cakes smeared on cheeks. Toasts rang, to found families, to fierce loves. My parents visited, awkward at first, Dad fumbling diaper changes, Mom reading endless stories. "She's a spitfire," Dad chuckled, Lily perched on his knee. "Like her mom's." Bio-mom contact came next, supervised visits arranged. First meeting at a park, Lily hesitant, but curiosity won. Hugs exchanged, promises whispered. "We'll always be your family," Arya assured post-visit as tears flowed. Fall brought school jitters, kindergarten orientation, tiny backpack stuffed. Lily's hand in mine, Arya snapping pics. "Ready, bug." "Ready," she echoed brave. Our bond deepened in the fray, date nights stolen at midnight movies, anniversaries with champagne toasts. Lily's firsts, lost tooth, bike wobbles, milestones shared, love multiplying. One crisp November eve, as snow dusted first, Lily asked, "Are you my forever moms?" Throats tight, we nodded. Forever and always. That drunken confession had cascaded into this, a tapestry of trials and triumphs, humanity's raw, redemptive arc. In Arya, Lily, us, we'd woven a legacy of love unbound. Winter's grip tightened that year, blanketing the city in a hush that amplified every small joy and ache. Lily's first Real snowman stood sentinel in our tiny courtyard, carrot nose askew, her mittened hands patting snow with gleeful concentration. Arya and I watched from the kitchen window, steaming mugs in hand, the steam fogging glass like breath on a mirror. "Look at her," Arya murmured, chin on my shoulder. "Pure magic." At 4 now, nearly 5, Lily had blossomed, her selective silences giving way to chatterboxes of questions. Why do stars hide in day? Can rabbits fly? Her curls, a wild halo, bounced as she dashed inside, cheeks rosy, demanding hot cocoa with extra marshmallows. We obliged, the kitchen a chaos of powdered sugar and laughter, our roles seamless, me measuring, Arya stirring, Lily the official taster. But beneath the domestic glow, fault lines simmered. Arya's mural series earned a Guggenheim nod, an exhibit in spring, prestige that demanded travel. "Just a month in LA," she said over breakfast, prospectus spread like a battle map. "Networking installs. It'll boost us, better schools, maybe that house in Bed-Stuy we've eyed." I nodded, forcing enthusiasm, but dread coiled. A month without her? With Lily's routines teetering on the edge of stability. "We'll manage," I said, kissing her temple. "Go conquer." Preparations consumed December, packing lists, video call schedules, emergency contacts laminated. Holidays doubled as trial run, my parents hosting in Ohio, a white Christmas of sledding and spiked eggnog. Lily adored the snow forts, but bedtime brought cling. Where's Mama, Aria? Visiting friends far away. I soothed, cuddling close. She'll call tomorrow. The exhibit launch coincided with New Year's, fireworks over the Pacific, her FaceTime glowing with pride. You'd love it here, she gushed, gallery lights haloing her. Lily sent a kiss? But distance nod. Solo parenting amplified every hiccup, Lily's fever spiking mid-blizzard, school conferences navigated bleary-eyed, my freelance deadlines stacking like Jenga. Jealousy crept, irrational, her Instagram stories of sunsets and schmoozes, while I wrangled tantrums over mismatched socks. Mid-January, fracture hit. A call at 2 a.m., Aria's voice strained. Jordan? The install's delayed, another 2 weeks. I can't leave it half done. Exhaustion boiled over. 2 weeks? Lily asks for you, every night. We need you here. Silence crackled. This is my career, too. Our future. And this is our family, I hissed, mindful of Lily's door. Book the flight.
Click.
The line went dead. Morning brought apologies via text. I'm scared of failing you both. But pride walled me. Days stretched taut, communication clipped. Logistics over love notes. Lily sensed the rift, her questions sharpening. Is Mama mad? She'd whisper, rabbit clutched tight. No, bug. Just busy. But guilt gnawed. Our therapy hiatus, paused for the exhibit, left us toolless. Crisis peaked Valentine's week. A nor'easter dumped feet of snow. School shuttered. My client pitch canceled. Cabin fever peaked. Lily's meltdowns escalating. My patience fraying. In a rare quiet, I scrolled Aria's feed. Her with collaborators, radiant, untethered. Rage surged. I called, voice venom. Come home.
Now.
Or don't bother. Her end broke. Jordan. I quit the team. Booked for tomorrow. Relief crashed, then remorse. I'm sorry. This distance, it's killing me. Me too. Sobs mingled. I love you. Both of you. Reunion at LaGuardia was cinematic, her emerging from the gate, duffel slung, eyes scanning desperate. Lily spotted first, bolting into open arms. Mama. We collapsed homeward, snow swirling like confetti. That night, post-bedtime, we talked raw on the couch, wine loosening tongues. I felt replaced, I admitted, by your success. And I felt trapped, she confessed. Like my dreams were selfish. Tears, then touches, reconnection slow, sensual, reaffirming. We're a team, she whispered, bodies entwined. No solos. Spring thawed more than weather. Aria's exhibit reviews glowed. New York Times feature, gallery sales funding that Bed-Stuy brownstone down payment. We resumed therapy, Dr. Rivera praising our vulnerability. Growth isn't linear, she noted. It's this, storms shaping shores. Lily's world expanded. Ballet classes in tights that itched, playdates with neighborhood kids, her artwork taping our fridge like gallery walls. Bio mom visits continued, strengthening bonds. Lily returned chatty, drawings for other mommy. But joy's underbelly stirred anew. At a center fundraiser, Camelot Warehouse, donors mingling. Aria networked, her laugh carrying. I chased Lily, who darted toward a display, only to overhear whispers. Adopted? Such a shame. Real parents out there struggling. Fury ignited. I scooped her, glaring daggers. Home, venting over ice cream. Aria held me. Their ignorance, not our truth. Yet seeds of doubt flowered. Late nights, as Lily snored soft, I'd trace Aria's sleeping face, wondering, are we enough? For her, for this whirlwind life? Climax brewed in May, anniversary month. A letter arrived, bio mom's relapse, custody review pending. Panic surged, meetings with lawyers, affidavits sworn. They could take her? Aria whispered, face ashen in our lawyer's sterile office. Possible, he said gravely. but your home studies gold. Fight. We did. Petitions filed, character witnesses rallied. Elena's testimony, Sam's affidavit, center directors praising our nurture. Court dates loomed, a summer shadow. Through it, unity forged steel. Picnics became strategy sessions, laughter defiant. Lilies sensing none bloomed. First school play as a tree sprite, bows deep. Hearing day sweltered, courtroom air-conditioned chill. We sat ramrod, hands clasped, Lily with Elena outside. Judge reviewed. Mom's progress stalled, our stability shown. Gavel fell. Permanency granted. Outside, hugs crushed, tears salt sweet. She's ours, Arya breathed.
Ours.
Fall whispered permanence. House hunt yielded a gem, Victorian with garden, closing in October. Moving day chaos, boxes labeled Lily's treasures, paint rollers flying. First night, under quilts, Lily between, we whispered stories of forever. That party spark had ignited a blaze, family not blood, but choice, humanity's resilient heart. Autumn in our new bed-stewy home was a symphony of change, leaves carpeting the stoop in crimson, the air crisp with promise. The brownstone, with its high ceilings and creaky oak floors, enveloped us like an embrace, walls echoing with Lily's patter and our shared sighs. Arya dove into renovations, her sketches transforming the sunroom into a studio ablaze with canvases and clay. I carved a home office from the turret, laptop humming with pitches that now included family branding, ironic, authentic. Permanency papers framed on the mantel marked our victory, but scars lingered. Lily's questions deepened. Why two mommies? During bedtime, rabbit floppy-eared witness. We'd answer honest, age soft. Because love makes families any way it grows. School year ramped, kindergarten a whirl of lunchboxes and parent-teacher notes. Lily thrived, her teacher noting resilient spirit, but playground politics nipped. A boy's taunt. No dad? Weird. Sent her home teary. We knelt even. Families come in all colors, bug. Yours is the best kind, rainbow. She nodded, crayon in fist, drawing us three under a sunburst. Aria's Guggenheim exhibit toured, pulling her to Chicago, then Miami. This time, we traveled tandem, Lily's first flights, wide-eyed at clouds. Hotel pools became her kingdom, splashes echoing our laughter. Backdrops shifted, but our core held. Morning cuddles, evening reads, love's quiet cadence. Yet, mid-tour a curveball, my cycle skipped, then nausea hit. At-home test in a Miami bathroom, stick trembling. 2 lines. Shock, then sobs, joy laced with terror. Arya found me on the balcony, ocean roaring below. Jordan, pregnant. The word hung, surreal. Her arms enveloped, tears mingling with sea spray.
How?
IVF consult last year, remember? They just-in-case vials. We'd banked embryos during permanency push, a hedge against future heartaches. Elation crested, but waves crashed. Lily's integration, careers, the sheer physics of expansion. Calls home. Elena whooping, Sam toasting solo. Parents mixed, mine cautious joy, Aria's unbridled cheers. Return to New York buzzed with secrets. We waited 12 weeks. Ultrasounds, grainy miracles. Lily caught on slow. Baby sister? At a bump pat, eyes sauce around. Yes, bug. You're the big sis. Her grin eclipsed sun. Preparations swirled. Nursery, painted sage. Onesies folded neat. But body betrayed. Fatigue felled me. Migraines throbbed. Doubts whispered. Can I mother too, when one stretches me thin? Arya anchored, massages and meals, but strain showed. Tour wrap-up deadlines clashing with my bedrest pleas. One blustery November night, storm raging, words erupted over stew. You push too hard, I snapped, spoon clanging. I'm fragile here. And you're not alone, she retorted, eyes flashing. I carry too the world, Lily, now this. When do I lean? Silence thundered. Lily stirred upstairs. We froze, then deflated. Apologies in whispers, her head on my lap. Scared, she admitted. Of not being enough. Me too. Hands linked over the swell. But together? Always. Therapy adapted, prenatal focus, Dr. Rivera guiding breathwork for us, play for Lily. Holidays amplified, Thanksgiving with both families, tables groaning, baby bumped the star. Dad's toast, to growth in all forms. Mom's knitted booties, Aria's parents mobile of sculpted whales. Winter solstice brought scan. Girl, healthy, due July. Names brainstormed, Eloan, for Aria's Cornish roots. Jordan Jr., teased. Lily voted star. Vetoed gentle. Snow days confined, but cozied. Fort building from couch cushions, hot cider steams. Aria's exhibit closed triumphant. A residency offer in Brooklyn, local, ours. Spring swelled with me. Bump prominent, waddles comical. Lily's school play, her as lion, roaring proud. Post-show ice cream, she confided. I'm scared of baby taking you away. Neil hug. Never brave one. More love to share. Bio mom check-in, her sober a year. Visits warm. You're giving her what I couldn't, she said, eyes grateful. Thank you. Tears mutual. Forgiveness, a quiet power. July heat peaked, labor hit at dawn, contractions like waves. Hospital blur, Aria's grip iron, Lily with Elena, cheers by a speaker. 12 hours, pushes primal, then cry, slick, hours. Eloan Rose Hayes Lopez, 7 pounds of fury and pink. Aria cut cord, tears streaming. She's perfect. I held her, exhausted bliss. Like her mama. Homecoming chaos. Lily's AUKUS, rabbit gifted to Sissy. Sleepless nights tag-teamed, diapers dawn patrols. But magic multiplied, Eloan's coos, Lily's lullabies croaky sweet. Challenges crested, postpartum haze gripped me, blues shadowing joy. Aria noticed, urging rest, walks with slings. You're super, Mom, she soothed, but I confess dark. What if I break? You bend, she said. We all do. Healing came communal, mom groups queer-coded, playdates blending broods. Eloan's first smile, for Lily, sisters sealed. Fall harvest. Eloan 3 months, chunked delights. House alive, crib sidecar, laughter layers. Aria's residency bloomed, murals community coaxed. My consulting expanded, flexible for feeds. One eve, as stars pricked, Lily asked, how'd baby come? Love grew her, Aria said, tucking. Like you grew me? Exactly. That original whisper had fruited manifold, love not endpoint, but ever unfolding, humanity's generous, gritty grace. Years folded like accordion pages, each pleat a memory etched deep. Eloan toddled at one, a whirlwind of chubby fists and babbles, her dark eyes, mirror to her bio-kin, sparkling with Aria's mischief. Lily at 8, mothered fierce. Pigtails tugged gentle, stories spun from library halls. Our brownstone pulsed rhythm, mornings of oatmeal spills, evenings of board games under lamp glow, weekends hiking Prospects trails, leaves crunching under small sneakers. Aria's art career crested, a solo show at MoMA PS1, canvases vast with family motifs, abstracted embraces, color storms of connection. Opening night, gallery humming, she dedicated. To my muses, Jordan, who steadies, Lily, who sparks, Eloan, who blooms. I stood teary, girls in frocks clutching my skirt, pride swelling oceanic. My path paralleled, consulting firm co-founded with a queer colleague, specializing in inclusive brands. Balance teetered, client calls mid-nap time, but fulfillment anchored. We hired a nanny part-time, a non-binary artist named Kai who bonded instant with the girls, braiding hair and blasting show tunes. Challenges evolved, subtler now. Tween Lily navigated crushes, her first on a classmate, sweet notes passed in class. "Is it okay if it's a girl?" she asked, cheeks flushed over milkshakes. "More than okay," Arya beamed. "Love's love." But puberty's storms brewed, slammed doors over curfews, Alohan's terrible twos testing tempers. One explosive afternoon, Lily's homework meltdown clashing Alohan's toy tantrum. Arya and I tag-snapped. "Handle it," I barked from the kitchen. "You're closer," she volleyed, crayons scattering. Pause, breaths ragged. Later, post-bedtimes, wine poured. "We're fraying," I admitted. "Stretch thin," she agreed. "But look what we've built." Renewal ritual, date nights revived, babysitter nights at jazz dives, dancing close like newlyweds. Therapy check-ins, annual, kept us tuned. Family webs strengthened. My parents relocated closer, Jersey retirement, visits weekly. Dad coached Lily's soccer. Alohan on his knee, Mom baked with Arya, secrets swapped over rolling pins. Bio Mom, steady in recovery, became Auntie Sarah, park picnics bridging bloodlines. Alohan's third birthday, garden party, piñata bursting candies, her giggles helium high. As dusk fell, fireflies dancing, Lily pulled me aside. "Mom Jordan? Thanks for choosing me." Throat tight, hug fierce. "Best choice ever." Arya caught it, joining, circle complete. Adolescence arrived title for Lily, middle school maelstrom, friendships fracturing, identity quests. At 12, she came home tear-streaked. "They called me fake. Cause of us." Rage, then resolve. We rallied. School counselor looped. Ally assembly addressed. "Home. Circle talk. Your story's yours," Arya said. Queer, chosen, power. She bloomed activist, GSA club founder. Posters plastered dorm. Alohan, 5, aped. Rainbow stickers on her bike. Love wins chance. Arya's 40th neared. How? Time's thief, marked with a surprise trip to Paris, girls with grandparents. Sane strolls, crepes sweet, her hand in mine. Still my whisper? Always my roar. Back, challenges crested anew. Alohan's kindergarten jitters, selective like Lily's once. Therapy gentle. Arya's grant denied, self-doubt shadowing her studio. My firm hit expansion snag, lawsuit whispers from a bigoted client. Storm converged Thanksgiving. Table tense, arguments bubbling over turkey. Lily stormed out. "You fight like I don't exist." Alohan wailed, doors slammed chain. Midnight mediation. Family meeting in PJs. Cocoa mugs mediators. Apologies aired. Hugs mended. "We're human," I said. Messy, but mending. Growth followed. Weekly check-ins. Game nights enforced. Lily's coming out, bisexual. Proud to us first, then school. Our cheers her shield. Alohan 7th. Pandemic shadow loomed. 2020's chill. Schools virtual. Worlds shrunk. We hunkered, fort of blankets and laptops, baking bread risen like hope. Arya taught art via Zoom, murals digital, I pivoted online, family webinars gold. Isolation tested, cabin fever fractals, but unity deepened, movie marathons, star charts plotted. Post-vax bloom, vaccines vials, visits vaccinated, life unfurling cautious. Lily's high school, activism amplified, prom with girlfriend, corsage wilted but smiles eternal. Alohan's elementary plays, her as inventor, sparks flying literal. Arya's midlife pivot, teaching post at Pratt, mentoring young queers, her studio home to apprentices. My firm thrived, book deal inked, building brands, building families. Empty nest loomed distant, but glimpsed. College tours for Lily, her art portfolio thick with Arya's influence. Alohan, teen-bound, drums lessons thumping bass. 15th anniversary, rooftop redux, string lights twinkling, girls now young women toasting us. Lily, 18, valedictorian bound. You taught me love's verb, action always. Aloan, 10, precocious, and hugs fix everything. As night deepened, Arya and I slipped away, city humming below. That party, she whispered, head on shoulder. Drunk words, sober life. Best plot twist. Kiss soft, enduring. Legacy unfolded. Lily's wedding, small. Us tearing up rows. Eloan's gap year abroad, postcards vivid. Grandkids? Someday whispers, but our chapter rich. In twilight years, gray threading curls, hands veined but laced, Arya's sketchpad filled with us, cycles complete. Her final exhibit, whispers to roars, our story canned. As she faded, hospice hush, I held her. Love you, she breathed. Forever. Her words that night? Catalyst to constellation, kaleidoscope of feels, drama's arc to humanism's hearth. Changed not just sight, but soul.